Yep, okay, very good.
All right, good afternoon, Toastmasters. I got a quick question for you. How long have any of you actually been in South Carolina for? Like, who thinks they've been here the longest? How long have you been here? 21 years.
20 years.
20? I come just shy of that. I'm sure there's probably people who have been here longer than that, but personally, I've been here for 20 years. 20 years of bipolar weather. Oh my gosh, those days where you go outside and it's hot, it's muggy, and then the next minute it's cold. I don't understand it. South Carolina's always been that way. It's never changed from that path. Don't understand it. Don't get it. With 4 of those 20 years doing countless parades and countless SMIs. Such a great use of my time, correct? Everybody loves those. Well, after 20 years, it's time for an escape. It's time to go somewhere else, to experience something different and break out of my South Carolina prison. I went from Anderson, South Carolina here to Charleston, and I've had the chance to escape to Florida for a year, so I didn't spend a full 21 years like you here. But there's some reasons why I want to escape this place. I'm a theme park junkie, all right? Or, well, what I would call myself a theme park snob after spending almost a year in Disney World. I've been to Universal and I've been to Disney World, of course, and I've rode numerous amounts of roller coasters. Something South Carolina kind of lacks. It's not anything against South Carolina, but we might want to consider getting a couple of roller coasters if they ever want me to come back. Because, quite frankly, there's not enough thrill. There's not enough excitement. It's a place where, well, I guess you see the same people day in and day out. And, you know, you kind of get used to it, especially from where I'm from, Anderson, South Carolina. Nothing changes around there. Every time I go home, I see the same people, same faces, same jobs, same businesses. It's like it slowly moves forward. Whereas when I go to other places, like Florida, where I want to go, where I'm planning to escape to, nice warm weather, where I don't have to really worry about the climate changes that much. So, I mean, I'm escaping just basically being slow and bored. I'm escaping into a fast-paced environment. I'm escaping into an environment where people are always around, where I don't see maybe a cow off in the distance that's 5 miles that way and no one's around. I'm escaping Southern hospitality. All right? I love Southern hospitality like anybody else. But once you've been around everybody else who has Southern hospitality, it kind of makes you the same. I want to be different. I want to go somewhere where there's not that, where people are surprised to see it. Surprised to see a Southern gentleman, where it distinguishes you as a person. Because quite frankly, in other parts there's not enough of it, and here there's just way too much of it. I know we have a lot of Southern gentlemen in here. Raise your hands if you are one. That's right. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen it. You see it every day. All right? You see people, they're nicer to everybody, but sometimes people are a little too nice. Sometimes you see it a little too much. It kind of just, I don't know, it turns you off to it a little bit, to say the least. For me, I've kind of been turned off to it. Yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Oh, thank you. Can I get the door for you? Other parts, they don't do that. It's not expected of me to do that. But I'll do it anyways in other parts because it sets me apart. It allows me to be different. It allows me to escape South Carolina. On top of that, new languages. I went to Florida. I was around a lot more Spanish than I've ever been around when I was here in South Carolina. I've experienced it a lot more. People have asked me questions in Spanish. I've actually kind of developed a small bit, maybe a tiny bit of Spanish. I at least know how to say frijoles and different things like that, which is beans in Spanish if you don't know. Here in South Carolina, how many people do you, like if I were to walk down the street, how many people do you think actually speak Spanish? How many people do you think speak Japanese? How many people do you think speak German? Not so many. I mean, sitting through our Spanish classes, we kind of struggle with it a little bit. I mean, if anybody sat through any type of Citadel Spanish class or sat through any Spanish class in high school or a German class or whatever language you're trying to learn, it's difficult to learn in an environment where you don't see it or hear it. Whereas if you go to places like Florida or New York or go to places like Spain or anywhere else that's not South Carolina, it's right there. The opportunity to learn and be around different languages and be influenced by different languages, it's there. It's not here in South Carolina. No, it's not. I'm not hating on South Carolina. I love where I'm from, don't get me wrong. But I feel like it's time for me to escape this place. How many of you want to escape South Carolina? Where to?
Anywhere out of the country, because I'm honestly just tired of the United States.
I want to go to Germany.
Germany. Anybody else over here? Panama.
Back to Boston.
Boston, okay. I'll give you that one. Me, I'm the same. I'm right there with you, except this is my first time escaping. And it'll probably be my last time ever escaping because I probably won't be back. Thank you, Toastmasters.